In March 1992, a man named Daniel Carter vanished without a trace during a late-night drive through the Nevada desert. For 3 days, his family and friends searched for him, fearing the worst. But on the 4th day, Daniel reappeared, confused, weak, and shaken to his core. What he revealed afterward stunned everyone who would listen. Daniel claimed that he had been taken aboard a craft unlike anything on Earth, an alien vessel. He said he met beings who were not only highly advanced, but who carried a message meant for all of humanity. They showed him visions of our past, our present, and even our possible future. At first, his story was dismissed as delusion, a hallucination from dehydration in the desert. But Daniel insisted that every detail was real. What disturbed him most wasn't just the alien technology he witnessed, but the truth he learned about humanity itself. A truth so powerful, so unsettling, that governments, secret organizations, and powerful figures would have every reason to silence him. Today, in this episode, we'll explore Daniel Carter's mysterious abduction, his encounter with alien beings, and the ultimate truth he brought back about who we are and what our future may hold. Daniel's story begins on a quiet night in early March. He was driving along a stretch of highway just outside Tonopah, Nevada, a region infamous for strange lights and military secrets. The desert was silent, the road empty, and Daniel recalled feeling unusually restless, as though something was about to happen. Suddenly, a bright light appeared in the sky. At first, he thought it was a helicopter from a nearby base, but the light grew larger, brighter, until the desert around him lit up like daylight. His car engine sputtered, the radio cut out, and the steering wheel began to vibrate violently. Before he could pull over, everything froze. The world went silent. Daniel described the sensation as if time itself had stopped. The next moment, he was no longer in his car. Instead, he was standing in a vast white chamber, weightless, surrounded by a soft glow. Around him, shapes began to move. At first, they looked like shadows, but as his eyes adjusted, he saw them clearly. Tall, slender beings with elongated heads, large violet blue eyes, and smooth, luminous skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. They did not speak with their mouths, but Daniel instantly felt words inside his head. Calm, soothing, undeniable. You are safe. Do not fear. You were chosen to see and to remember. Daniel realized he had not been dreaming. He had been taken. Daniel was led through what looked like a corridor of living light. The walls pulsed faintly, as if the ship itself was alive. He noticed there were no seams, no bolts, no visible machinery. Everything seemed to flow seamlessly, designed with a purpose beyond anything human engineers could imagine. The beings guided him into a circular chamber where he was invited to sit. Though there were no chairs, a smooth platform rose beneath him, adjusting perfectly to his body. He realized that the ship itself responded to thoughts, not mechanical controls. One of the beings came closer. Though its mouth never moved, Daniel heard its voice clearly in his mind. Telepathy. The being introduced itself as Kale. Kale explained that they were part of an ancient collective, a race of travelers who had observed Earth for thousands of years.
They were not here to harm him. Instead, they wanted him to carry knowledge back to humanity. Knowledge, Kyle said, that humans had once known, but forgotten. Daniel was confused. Forgotten? Kyle continued, telling him that human beings were not simply the product of random evolution. Long ago, powerful beings had shaped the genetic destiny of mankind. We were created, designed, with extraordinary potential. But something had gone wrong. Forces from beyond the stars had interfered, altering humanity's path. According to Kyle, this interference crippled the human race, limiting our abilities, fragmenting our memory of who we really are. You are far more than you believe, Kyle said, but you have been kept in ignorance. Daniel sat in silence, his mind racing. For the first time, he realized this encounter wasn't just about aliens, it was about humanity itself. Kael showed Daniel a vision. The walls of the chamber dissolved into scenes from Earth's distant past. He saw towering structures rise from the sands, pyramids, monoliths, and temples older than any recorded history. He saw beings of light guiding early humans, teaching them astronomy, mathematics, and energy systems that far surpassed modern science. Then the vision shifted. Darker shapes descended upon the earth. Unlike the luminous beings, these figures were heavy, shadow-like, radiating fear. Kael explained that these were not creators, but corruptors. They discovered that humanity possessed something rare in the universe: emotion, especially fear. And fear could be harvested. The shadow force altered human DNA, embedding limitations that weakened the body and clouded the mind. Where humans once had clarity, they now had confusion. Where they once lived in harmony, they now turned against each other. Civilizations collapsed, knowledge was hidden, and humanity forgot its true origins. Daniel asked why they, Kael and his kind, hadn't stopped it. Kael's response was unsettling. "We cannot interfere beyond what you allow. Your kind must choose, but the time of choosing is near." Another vision appeared. Earth in the present day. Wars, cities choking with pollution, people enslaved by systems of fear and control. Daniel felt a wave of despair. But then Kael showed him glimpses of what could be, an earth of harmony, where humans rediscovered their lost potential and lived freely among the stars. "The choice," Kael said, "is yours. Humanity stands at a threshold." When Daniel was returned to the desert, only minutes had passed on Earth, but to him it felt like days. His car sat silently on the roadside, headlights still on, the engine dead. Shaken and overwhelmed, he drove home with a mind full of visions he could never forget. In the months that followed, Daniel shared his story with researchers, journalists, and anyone willing to listen. Most dismissed him as delusional. Some accused him of fabricating the entire event, but a few believed him. What struck them was not just the consistency of his account, but the passion in his eyes when he spoke of humanity's hidden potential. He said the beings had left him with a final warning. Humanity's time was running out. The systems of fear and control that bind us are growing stronger, but so is the awakening of those who remember who they really are. Daniel lived the rest of his life quietly, away from public attention. Yet he always insisted that the message he brought back was not meant for him alone, but for all of us. We are not alone. We never have been. Humanity was meant for something greater, but only we can decide whether to rise or to remain in chains. Perhaps one day, when we are ready, the truth Daniel carried will no longer be dismissed as fantasy, but recognized as the first glimpse of our real history. And maybe then, the beings who once guided us will return, not to show us who we are, but to see who we've become.